Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's lesson. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope your day was fantastic. Let's go ahead and jump into today's lesson by looking at our lesson objective. So, today we will use tables to record multiplicative relationships. The TEKS we're going to be focusing on today are 3.5C, 3.5E, and 3.4F. All right. So before we go into our lesson, the first thing we need to do is figure out what is an input-output table. This is our vocabulary word for today. So an input-output table is a table showing numerical relationships between the input and, that cut off a little bit, and output, often used to generate sets of ordered pairs for a rule. So an input-output table means whatever is going into our table, we're going to use some rule, and then we're going to get our output. So this is an example of an input-output table. Let's go ahead and look at our input-output table in our problems for today. So over here, we have the blue strip is 4 times as long as the red strip. What are the possible lengths of both strips of paper? So I know that my red strip is 1 unit, and then our blue strip is going to be 4 times that. So for every 1 unit, we are going to get 4 units of our blue strip, right? So if I have my red, right, I know my blue strip is 4 times that of my red strip. Or we could do 4 times our red strip is going to equal blue. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at this with our input-output table. So let's pretend we're going to find some possible lengths for both strips. So if my red strip is 1 unit, then my blue strip has to be 4 times as long as my red strip. So if my red strip is 1 unit, that means my blue strip is 4 times that. So 1 times 4 is going to be 4. So I have 1, and then each one of these is 1. So that means that our output, our blue strip, is going to be 4. Now, what if my red strip is 2? So if my red strip is 2, my blue strip has to be 4 times that. So it will be 2, then that would be 2 more, 2 more, 2 more for my blue strip. So my blue strip would be 2 times 4, which is going to equal 8. Okay? Now let's try a few more. What if my red strip is 3? So then it is going to be 4 groups of 3. So 4 times 3. Let me put this right here. Which is going to give me 12. So my blue strip is 12. If my red strip is 4, then we have our blue strip is 4 times the red strip. So 4 times 4, which is going to give me 16. So my blue strip is 16. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at another input-output table. Okay, so a magician has a box that changes numbers using a rule. What rule does the box use to change the numbers? So now we have to go ahead and look at our input-output table and try and figure out what the rule is. So if we are going to get 3 doves in, we're going to get 9 doves out. So that means I have 3. I have to do something to that 3 to give me 9 doves. So if I do 3 plus 3, that's going to give me 6. So that can't be right. So we have to figure out what can we do to 3 to give us 9. Well, okay. So I know that if I take 3 times 3, that'll give me 9. Oh, that could definitely be a rule. So 3 times 3. All right, let's see if our rule of times 3 is going to give us the output. So if I have 10, and if I multiply that by 3, that's going to give me 30. And it looks like our input is 10 and our output is 30. So that works for that too. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill this in. So we know our rule is times 3. Okay, so if I have 1 wand and I multiply that by 3, so I'm going to do 1 times 3, That gives me 3. So now my output is 3 wands. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at our next one. Let me change our color so we have it a little bit different. So now we have our output. So we know our output needs to be 15. So we need to do something. Some number times 3 is going to give us 15. Okay, well, I know that 5 times 3 is 15. So our input must be 5. So our input must be 5 shells. Okay, so now we have our input. So we know 6 times 3 is going to give us what? 18. So 18 cards is our output. Okay, now we have our output. So I know something times 3 is going to give me 27. Okay, so what number times 3 can give me 27? Okay. Oh, 9 times 3 equals 27. So our input must be 9. So 9 cards must be our input. So our rule is times 3 when we look at all of our numbers in our input-output table. All right, so let's go ahead and review our lesson objective for today. So today we used tables to record multiplicative relationships. Okay, thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope this was a helpful lesson for y'all, and I hope this helped you understand input-output tables a little bit better. I will see you next lesson, and have a fantastic day in the meantime. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.